Well, good morning. I have my new camera set up on the handlebars working. We'll see how it goes. I'm not too confident at this stage. And looking at some of those clouds, we might get a little bit of rain. It's forecast, but probably only about 20% chance of rain. Anyway, I'm heading up to the Outpost Cafe for a coffee, meeting up with the boys club. And the boys club is a admitted sexist club made up of boys. But really what it is old farts like me who have retired, semi-retired, who meet up once a week and have a coffee and solve the problems of the world, and then go for a ride on our bikes. And we bring our wives, partners, so we're not really sexist. But we call ourselves the boys club. So I'm going to meet up with the boys club, and conversation will probably be the US inauguration of Joe Biden, new president. And was there any trouble in the United States overnight? Today being the 21st of January in Australia, 20th of January in the USA. So I haven't heard the news, 6:30 a.m. in the morning. I haven't heard the news yet, so I don't know whether there's been any insurrection in the United States. I hope not. But anyway, when we get up to Canungra, that'll be on the agenda, no doubt. As well as how is Valentino Rossi going to compete and fare this year in the MotoGP. One of the boys club members, now that Tito Rabat has gone to World Superbikes, and Tito Rabat was always a rear runner, not that he wasn't a good motorcycle rider, he was a great rider, former Moto2 world champion, but never quite had the machinery under him, the wheels under him to compete right at the top, unfortunately for Tito. So one of the boys club members is a Valentino Rossi file, or Rossi file as we call him. Valentino can't do any wrong, and he loves him like a brother. And so we enjoy stirring our friend. And another boys club member, he also likes to stir the spoon a bit, and he's christened VR46 Valentino Rabat, because he reckons that he'll be running at the rear of the MotoGP, taking Tito's spot. So we'll see, and that'll be on the agenda, no doubt. And so we'll talk about politics there, and of course we're going to undoubtedly get a mention of coronavirus. Luckily for us in Australia, coronavirus hasn't hit us like it has in countries around the world. I was looking at Australian statistics yesterday, and I think we were around about 29,000 cases, 29,000, and 906 deaths, which for a country of 25 million people is not too bad. But we do have the advantage here in Australia being an island nation. So if we can get control of it internally, which we seem to have done, it's then a matter of controlling anybody that comes into the country. And with testing on arrival and 14-day lockdown when you get here and all the rest of it, we seem to be able to control it. Every so often we've had a breakout, and they've been able to trace it to someone coming from overseas. I think the last breakout was traced to air crew that had come in from the UK, I think. But it was only small. I mean, when I say an outbreak, it was probably only a few hundred people, or maybe even less, that they managed to track and trace and isolate and stop it. So we're quite lucky here in Australia with coronavirus, and life is as normal, if you want to call normal, as it can be. Sydney was declared a hotspot a week or two, about a couple of weeks ago now, but it's pretty well under control. In Queensland, we've been pretty much under control the whole time, although we did have border lockdowns stopping people from New South Wales and Victoria coming into the state. But all in all, coronavirus, I'm just hanging out waiting for the vaccine, hopes that it works. So this is Binstead Way, and it's the main arterial road through the northern Gold Coast suburb of Pacific Pines. And I can remember going back to around about 1990 when Pacific Pines, probably the late 80s, 88, 89, Pacific Pines was first starting to be developed. And they called it Pacific Pines because the whole of the area that I'm riding through now used to be a pine forest. It was a planted pine forest. It was quite extensive, quite large. It was just massive pine forest. Anyway, they cut down all the pine, harvested the pine, and then the developers got hold of the land and turned it into this estate of Pacific Pines. But anyway, yeah, so this area we're riding through, I used to run through here many years ago when I could still run, and it was just pine trees and dirt tracks. Okie dokie, home time after a boys club meeting. Tony in front on his Diavel, Andrew in front of Tony on his Diavel, and Jordan must have gone the other way. Yeah, I thought Jordan was behind me, but he's not, so maybe he's gone the long way home.